Picture this. You're in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, surrounded by stunning views and amazing adventures, when suddenly you realize you might miss out on everything. That was how I felt in Monaco last summer. Good evening, fellow leaders of tomorrow, most honorable judges, teachers, parents, and guests. Last summer, in Monaco, I experienced something in the most chaotic, uncertain situation. My family and I had a sightseeing stop in this beautiful city as part of our cruise. We were exploring the streets, soaking in the sights and sounds, when my phone buzzed with a notification. It reminded us about our cruise departure at 6 p.m. But at that time, it was only 1 p.m., so we thought we had plenty of time. But as we wandered, we got so caught up in the moment that time slipped away faster than we all anticipated. And by the time we looked up, it was almost 5:45 p.m., and the taxi we called still did not arrive. Panic set in. Then suddenly, a local taxi driver stepped forward and offered us a ride. What followed next was nothing but extraordinary. The man, clearly a local who knew his roads, sped off like a man on a mission, weaving in and out of traffic, even honking at police cars on the way. My heart raced. Was I more scared of missing the cruise or crashing in the same route they used in the Grand Prix? Finally, and not a moment too soon, we arrived at the dock and sprinted towards the ship. The relief was overwhelming. Later that evening, over dinner, my parents seized the moment to remind us the importance of time management and 3 key lessons that we could take to heart. First, prioritize what matters. My parents pointed out that if we had stuck to our schedule earlier in the day, instead of being distracted with last-minute plans, we could have avoided the last-minute panic. My dad then showed us a video about a professor demonstrating how important it is to prioritize. He had a jar in which you had to put in 10 stones, 2 marbles, and a bit of water. By instinct, his students placed the biggest items first, or in this case, the stones. My dad said, treat the jar like the time in a day. You want to fill it with the most important things first. Second, plan ahead. My parents noted that if we had set a reminder to call a taxi earlier in the day, we could have avoided the frantic dash through the city. There can be delays such as traffic that we can't control. So for our next school year, they encouraged us to use tools like calendars or weekly planners to map out our week. Lastly, stay on task. My parents reminded us how easily we got distracted by the sights in Monaco. We wanted to see the gardens, the hotels, and the fancy cars. No wonder time flew by. I noticed that in the next school year, I was much more focused, and I always finished my homework on time. All in all, my advice is to learn from my own experience and realize the critical importance of time management. I learned 3 key lessons. First, prioritize what matters. Put those big stones in first. Second, plan ahead. Plan your day, week, month, or even a year to be prepared for whatever's coming next. And last but not least, stay on task. Tell yourself, ask yourself, and remind yourself to stay on task. And when you build these 3 habits, you'll never find yourself holding on for dear life, blasting down the streets of Monaco. Thank you.